Hey, Joey Without House Saloon here for another Charlotte FC match reaction video. I'm joined by my co-host Andrew and super guest Andrew Skaman.
How you doing?
We've great. He is a Revolution fan. We've asked him to come on the show and share some of his thoughts about Charlotte's loss to the Revolution. Andrew, I guess you're also a Twitch streamer. Tell us about that. Like, what exactly do you stream?
Hi, so my name is Andrew Skaman, or you can find me on Twitch at Skaman1978. You can also find me on Twitter at Skaman_1978. That is SKAMAN 1978. I'm a full-time Twitch streamer, and I play a lot of variety games. I mainly focus in sci-fi and strategy, although I am known for fantasy and also D&D. I'm also a member of the Midnight Riders at Large board. I've been a member of the Large board for 6 years. I am also the recipient of the 2019 Samuel Prescott Rider of the Year Award for my charity work with the Extra Life Stream team. I lead the Midnight Riders arm of Extra Life, which donates to children's hospitals all over New England via the Children's Miracle Network. It is my goal to raise enough money to knock Cascadia Gamers off their pedestal. Cascadia Gamers is a fantastic group of people from Seattle and Portland and whatnot, and they're really nice people. It's just I want to be better. But in my time as team captain of the Midnight Riders Stream team, we have raised close to $8,000 for our local children's hospital. If you want to learn more about that, you can DM me, or you can go to midnightriders.com. That is midnightriders.com.
That's awesome. Yeah, anything to help out the community.
And if you want to help out your own community, I'm sorry to interrupt, but if you want to help out your own community and your own local children's hospital, you can. Actually, the Children's Miracle Network is a network that is all over the nation. I believe they have 72 hospitals across the land. They have 4 in New England. And I don't know about Charlotte, but you can go out. You can support your local children's hospital. If you're a gamer, if anything, you like play games, helps the kids. It's easy as that. Check it out at extralife.com.
Great. And now, do you stream every day?
I do. I'm taking this week off though, due to it being spring vacation for my nephew. And my mom hasn't been feeling very well, so I'm helping with her. Furthermore, it is also PAX, the biggest video game convention this side of the Mississippi.
Yeah,
I stream every weekday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday nights, I stream from around 8 p.m. to around 11 to midnight Eastern, and that's my D&D stream. And then on Saturdays, whenever I am free, I do what I do a community day in 7 Days to Die, which again starts around 10 a.m. Eastern.
Cool. All right, awesome. Make sure to check out the Skaman on Twitch. The link can be found in the description below. All right, now before we get started, I'd like to set the stage with the lineups. Let's pull this up.
Before you set the stage with the lineups, I want to know where you got the which Adam Buksa from. Your knockoff Adam Buksa, Polish guy, the one who's too injured to play for Poland, yet well enough to play for you guys during the international break.
Right. Yeah. Okay. No comment. Yeah.
What comment can you say? It is true. He was injured to not play for Poland, but for you guys, he's fine. Just fine. Perfectly fine. Like.
All right. So the services here say Charlotte line up in a 4-1-3-2. In actuality, it's a 4-4-2 diamond. And we have Kalina in goal, back four of Jalen Lindsay, Guzman Carujo, Christian McCoon, Christian Fuchs, midfield four of Brant Bronico, Ben Bender, Jordi Alcifar, Alan Franco, and the normal two of Swiderski and Daniel Rios up top. Now, as far as...
Sorry to interrupt about that. Sorry to interrupt again, but one of the fans brought a picture on you can find it on the Real Slot at the Real Side on Twitter. It has Fuchs. It just says no Fuchs given.
Yeah, there's been a lot of those going around. Yeah,
I mean, we've kind of been a bit risque with our marketing, honestly, because we, as a lot of you know, we have rebranded it, did a soft rebrand, and where we just changed our logo, which I honestly do not like. Crayola till I die. But instead of going the stupid route and calling us New England FC, Charlotte, Atlanta, Miami, everyone else, we say New England Revolution, and they went hard with the no FCs given.
Okay. That's pretty good.
And I also want to talk about our lineup with especially Justin Rennicks. Justin Rennicks is a homegrown. He's had a few starts for the first team. He if I'm not mistaken, you guys know Captain Jack from Doctor Who? Doctor Who and let me look this up. I believe that is his nephew, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have the real Polish striker, Adam Buksa, someone who knows how to score a goal or two. Who was just amazing out of the gate.
Yes.
And then we have the king of MLS. Screw you, Atlanta. Carlos Heel, reigning MVP, who has just made it a career in MLS of taking defenders and midfielders lunch money with no cares given. Like, you can easily find a highlight reel of him from last year where he just makes the opposing team's field players look foolish.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, oh, I'm going this way. I'm going this way. Nope, I'm going that way.
Yeah.
And by the time you react, he's already 10 yards up the field.
Yeah, I mean, you guys did lead the league in scoring last year, right?
We did.
Yeah.
And he led the league in assists.
Yep. Now I see the lineup here says 4-3-1-2. Is that accurate, or is it more like a 4-4?
Honestly, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't know. But I do know that Omar Gonzalez needs to go. He needs to go. No. He is the best way I could talk about Bruce Arena in the offseason transfers is he made a solid team for a deep run in the 2014 World Cup. With Leggett, with Gonzalez, with Josie, that's a great team. That's a great team 8 years ago. But now, no. Omar is a liability. And the fact that they have, is that Farrell at a 6.8? That is doing that man a disservice. He was a solid player. He is actually right here. Give me 1 second. I have a game-worn, signed Andrew Farrell jersey that I got in Chicago in 2016. No, yeah, 2016.
Nice.
And he's just a solid defender, and saying that he saying that he's only a 6.8 is a disservice, and that Brad Knighton is only 7.4 is a disservice. I mean, he had some fantastic saves against you guys.
Yep.
And having him at a 7.4 is a complete disservice to him. He should be at least an 8. That the goal notwithstanding.
Yeah, so I'll say that the back line for you guys, I thought played great. I think they did their job and just
Dwan
did whatever
Jones,
they needed to do.
Dwan Jones, Brandon By, Andrew Farrell, those are solid. Dwan Jones is a product of which one's the blue in Michigan? Is that University of Michigan or
Yes.
Because I have a friend. I have a friend. My main mod goes there, and I keep on forgetting it because he actually saw Dwan Jones play in college, and when he was signed by the Revs, he couldn't be happier.
Nice.
Before my friend sees this and comes and flies back to Boston to murder me, let me get this right. He probably is already on the. It is Michigan State, not
So
Michigan State.
They're not blue.
The green. Yeah, I keep on forgetting that. Yeah, no, he is probably already on the plane with murderous intent in his heart. I can't blame you, Matt. I don't blame you. I'm sorry.
Nice.
But Brandon By has been a fantastic player as well. With those back wingers, those are solid back wingers who provide space on the attack. We saw it with that beautiful curler that Brandon By provided right to the dome of Buxa, who just kissed it home with his forehead. Like those are great players. They need to strengthen up a little bit in the defense. I mean, they're young; they're still learning. That's where Farrell comes in and is that seasoned defender. Andrew Farrell, fun fact, was New England's first ever number 1 pick.
Oh wow!
In the Super Draft. He is a homeboy. And if he leaves before he retires, I am going to cry.
Now, how's Leggett been for you guys?
It's legit. Like again, Bruce Arena with his off-season signings made a great team for a deep run in the 2014 World Cup. Leggett has been okay. Yes, he has a couple of goals. Thank you for that. But I just don't like him. I want younger blood. And I do not want Josie Altidore on Gillette Field because we all know how injury prone he is.
Yeah.
He touches a blade of grass wrong, he's out for 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, even when he's in peak fitness, I never really cared for him anyway. But I mean,
when he was peak fitness, it's kind of like Pulisic, where when he was on, and then he got injured, and then he got injured, and there was that slow build up again. But then he got back on, and then he got injured. He's a glass cannon.
Well, on the bright side, Toronto is paying some of his salary. So,
also, what picture is that of Bruce Arena? Is that like a 5-year-old picture of Bruce Arena there? He looks
maybe
so
even
young
more.
in that. like seriously, can you click on that picture like that? He looks so young.
You're taking my questions away from the end because it had to deal with Bruce Arena.
I'm not. You can still ask questions. I'm just saying he looks so young in that picture.
Yeah, he does.
That's like 5 years ago.
I already know the answer to what I'm going to ask. I could tell.
Go ahead and ask it.
Yeah,
okay. So
ask it anyway.
Bruce Arena, from what I understand, he was on the hot seat. I don't know if he's still on the hot seat. You don't think so?
No. So there was a lot of dissent. I mean, you're in a 5-game skid. Of course, after you're in a 5-game skid, after setting the league record in points,
right,
and having the worst goal differential as a coach. I'm not counting when he came on because Brad Friedel was just garbage. Absolutely garbage. There was a time under Brad Friedel where we had like a negative 15 GD in 4 games.
Oof.
It was not good. So I'm not counting that. Like that because Brad Friedel sucked. Screw you. Get lost. So, but when Bruce came in 2019 and did the hardest 180 of a team I've ever seen in my life, where he took a team that was destined to get to end the season in single point territory, and he made that into a playoff team. Yeah, we got knocked out in the first round, but he made that into a playoff team. A team that went through half the year destined for single point down. The wooden spoon was we were already getting a bonfire ready to burn the wooden spoon. Then Bruce Arena comes in, 13-game unbeaten streak, gets us to the playoffs. We go to 2020. He takes us to we have a pretty solid year that year as well. We make it to the Eastern Conference Final. Then the last year, we set the all-time points record. And so seeing this and seeing his transfers, there was pressure on him. I do not think that he was in the hot seat in any real sense of it, because you have Charlie Davies, who is a fan, for those who do not know, former New England Revolution striker. Then for some reason he got traded to Philly, which he, as a member of the New England Revolution social media, as a member of the New England Revolution team, he has to be like, I hated it. Like, yeah, it was fine. Oh, he was not happy about that and he was also a very promising new U.S. striker. But he was going for a clean house. And I think that was him just trying to, like, kind of get clicks, if you will. But then again, you have to realize that a 5-game streak for Bruce Arena is basically unheard. It's Bruce freaking Arena, the most winning coach in MLS history. The most points gaining coach in MLS history. A 5-game skid, including 2 games and including 3 games. 4 games, including 3 games where you give up 3 games in a row where you give up 3 goals. It's unheard of. So a lot of us were thinking that it was. There was a lot of people who were thinking that it wasn't time for him to like retire. But for him to take a step back from the coaching, because I don't know if you know this, Bruce Arena is the manager and the chief of the Revs. Like, he is both director and manager. If he wants a player, he has to all he has to do is cut himself a check, and he gets the player.
Nice.
Like, he sits down with Brian Belillo and be like, I want him. All right, he's yours.
Now, well, real quick on that, with Bruce Arena and having a little bit of an issue this year, would you attribute any of those possible problems to the extra matches you guys have had to play for the CCL?
No, because we only had to play 2 extra matches. Granted, we kind of got screwed over by the U.S. State Department and by the Haitian foreign ministry due to them being tightwads when it came to issuing the proper visas. They did not issue. I always say an R. I think it's cavalry. There's no R, but they did not issue. The U.S. State Department or the Haitian Foreign Ministry. I don't know who it is. You both suck. they did not issue the proper visas to Haiti, to the Haitian team, for them to come here. And so Bruce was really kind of he kind of foregoed a preseason, if you will, to be like, all right, we have these two games. Let's do it to it. And so when those games were canceled, because again, screw you, government, they scrambled. We did not have the prep that he wanted. We had to play a couple in-house games against USL teams. But I think what really happened, I think what really started the skid was the loss to Pumas, the 3-0 loss. And I think they just kind of got the yips.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like you go up 3-0 at home, you're feeling fine. I remember after the home Pumas game, Carlos Heel is like at the 40, he's like, let's go! Like he was pumped. Like he was farmhouse. Because he was all in for it. Yet when they went down there and the wheels fell off, that gets into your head. You're like, crap, here we go again. Crap, here we go again. Crap, here we go again. Saw it against Real Salt Lake. Saw it against you guys. Saw it against Miami. And you have to be pretty crap to lose to Miami.
Yep.
I'm sorry, man. If you have any Miami fans listening, your team sucks, so we all know it. Like, you beat the Revs. A blind squirrel finds an acorn. Congratulations. But even still, like.
But yeah, you guys did get back on track against us. We thought, going into the game, we thought we had a chance. This could be our potential first away victory. But Joey, do you want to go into the first goal? Because that was a great worked goal by New England. However, there was some defensive lapses on Charlotte's end, but you can't take away, as I was telling Joey, when we were doing the watch along, New England's in the first half, all the crosses into the box were hitting the target. Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know which coach you guys have that's teaching crossing, but you need to send him down.
Yes.
So we can get some of that.
No, bad. No. But so we actually have a few player coach. We have a old player coach as well. And he's what we assume is the heir apparent for Bruce Arena, which is Shari Joseph, another New England Revolution player, legend, one of the longest serving Revs. And so he's like, we assume that he is the heir apparent because he started out with he's been working on his licenses. He coached Revs 2 for a time, and now he's playing second fiddle to Bruce. So unless something happens, we all assume that he is heir apparent. And so I always find it good to have a old player, an old striker who is a coach. Or an old player at all who's a coach, like when Jay Heaps was a coach. I always liked that because when the defense did something wrong, I could totally see him lace on the boots and be like, "All right, here's what you need to do," and just walk it through like. But then again, Bruce also just sets up a good, relaxed atmosphere at times. So, I don't know. It's just that this game really got back to the old last year's Revs where we weren't always just law ball. It was not just a game of law ball. We built up. We made crosses. We made passes. We found the space. We found one player that was the weak point in the chain, and then we just kept on hammering it and hammering it and hammering it. Was either Carlos Heel, Gustavo Bo, last year Tajon Buchanan, who is now in Club Rouge, who is Canadian international. You lucky sons of maple. You lucky people with crappy maple syrup. But seriously though, we have players to really create space, and that's what I really saw today during the game. So I'm on the drums during the game. I'm on a big bass drum. I call it Big Bertha. It's like a 24-incher. It's a big boy. But after the third cross in, one of my fellow drummers just said to me, "Looks like Buxa's head is the target tonight," and it was. The entire first half, nearly every single cross met with Buxa's head.
Yep. So specifically on this goal, first of all, it was in the 8th minute. Buxa 7th, yeah. Buxa got on a great cross by Brandon Bai, but Bai was left wide open on the wing. Fuchs kind of like lazily jogged over towards him to try to close him down, but it didn't really matter.
Strikers are always terrible about closing players down. Strikers and attacking midfielders are always terrible at closing people down. Like you can hammer it into them all the time, but they're still going to be like, I'm supposed to put the ball in that net. I'm not supposed to keep the ball out of this one. It's.
Well, there's some debate right now in Charlotte whether Fuchs should continue playing left back versus center back. So for this game, he was.
Fuchs is a defender. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
No, I was thinking about your crappy Polish guy.
I'm not going to say his name, but so Fuchs, he was playing left back. So he was a little slow in getting over to Bai, and I mean, again, you got to hand it perfect cross. I mean,
it was a beautiful cross. That is a textbook cross.
You should not leave a man that wide open.
No, you shouldn't. And we saw that a lot from the Reds games previous. In fact, the game against you guys at home when you were home. That's what we did. We went to bunker mode. We went in the 18-yard box and be like, all right, this is our home. No one's allowed in here. And what did you guys do? You lobbed crosses in. You found this space. No one closed you down. And if you go bunker mode, you're gonna get screwed. Especially at the 7th minute.
Yep. So on this header by Buxa, it was a great header, but Carujo just let him get right by him. It was poor positioning on his part, and you can't do that with Buxa. He's just too good for that.
He also I remember watching the replay. He also got ahead on your guy too. Like he was on the jump. He was a solid head above.
Yeah.
And I don't know if your guy got ups, but we all know that Buxa does.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, and there's this great video I keep on seeing on my Twitter, Instagram, whatever, of that. That Ronaldo goal, the one where he just
way
climbs
up there,
climbs a freaking step ladder. Like we all think that it's pretty easy to be like, all right, yeah, I can go bink, but then you actually see it, and then you have it measured out for you. You're like, how did he get up there?
Yeah.
So So actually, Joey, if you want to go into the second goal, because the man you just discussed, our center back, had a major part in New England's second goal of the game.
Please don't
Fantastic
remind me.
clearance. Fantastic clearance.
Oh man.
What a clearance. That is 100% a clearance you want to see the opposing center back give. 100% what you want to see the opposing center back give. If it's your center back, you're like, what are you doing there? For a second there, honestly, during the game, I honestly thought that your guy tried to clear it off Holster, and it just banked in. Like, it was a redirect. It was on the replay that I saw that. Holster got control, and he did a Duke and then he juked and shot. But that is a fantastic clearance for the opposing center back.
And that's in our watch along. We were talking about how our clearances during the game are horrible.
No, not just during the game, all season.
Well, I mean, I don't really know about the rest of you guys, but your backline distribution this game was fantastic for us. You had a hard time getting out of the attacking third. And when you did get out of the attacking third, nothing really materialized because they're like, oh, look, the ball's here. The ball's at my feet. What am I supposed to do with this thing? Like,
you should have seen us against Philly. That's all I'll say.
I mean the game that your broadcasters would not stop bemoaning? Everything that went wrong is like, oh yeah, just like what happened in Philly. Like, was that game that bad for you?
It was pretty bad.
Did the wheels on the bus fall off and burst into fire? Did one of your players spontaneously combust? Like, the way that your guy kept on going on about Philly is just like, did you give up 10 goals? Like,
well, we went in a back five and tried to play defensive, and it just didn't work.
Our back line play defensive against Philly,
right? Yeah, exactly. And our back line just coughed up the ball nonstop, and then Kalina kicked the ball right to him. So it was rough.
Philly has some zippy guys. And good luck trying to get by freaking Andre Blake, which, by the way, is a fantastic fellow. I met him one time. Post-game at a Revs game, he came over to see some Jamaica fans, and I was staying after because it was the Special Olympics unified match. It was SO Massachusetts versus SO Philly, which, if you ever have a chance to see a Special Olympics unified match, see it, and if you're a supporter, sing for it, because I'm telling you, the best game of the season. It's after they normally play it after 90, so if you're a supporter, you're singing for 90, and then you're in, and then you sing there for them. They get the biggest smiles. Like, crap, they're here for us.
That's awesome.
Like with the players, like, oh yeah. But for the Special Olympics, they're like, let's go!
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, seriously, playing defensive against Philly is not going to work.
Yeah.
To be fair, playing against Andre Blake is not going to work.
Yeah, he stops everything. Back to this Polster goal. So it starts off by Leggett getting the ball short from a set piece, and then he puts in a great shot. Kalina makes a good save, but what happens after that? Andrew, take us through that.
I mean, do I really have to?
What happens after that is reminiscent of the Revs at Miami last week, where the keeper made a good save, but could not clamp the ball down, and the defense couldn't get to it in time, and which led the attack to continue and subsequently score the winning goal. That is exactly what happened with us against Miami. That's exactly what happened with you guys against us.
Yep. And Andrew, I know earlier in the match we had a similar thing where we tried to clear it right into the back of one of our own guys. Was that Carujo again?
I believe it was. Yes. It was like I said in the watch along, you could see it coming. Like, they were having issues all night, even at the other, like, it was, I mean, they were just inviting that second goal, in my opinion. So
can you go back to the depth chart again, like the point chart? Because let's see what Carujo had as far as a point go.
Yeah, let me pull it up again.
My guess is he's either the lowest or one of the lowest.
I would say a 5 would be generous.
Yeah, if I had to rate Fuchs and Carujo, I'd have both give him a 5 out of 10.
For that clearance, Fuchs, I mean, you fall asleep. That happens. Like, you're like, oh, yeah, I got time. Oh, wait, no, I don't. Like, that happens. That happens. Let's see here. Carew
6.4. Yeah,
6.4.
I definitely do not agree with that.
Wow. What site is this? Is this just like a Charlotte Homer site? Like, that is, no, I'm dead serious. Like that, you give a 6.4 to Carujo, but only a 7.4 to Knighton?
And actually,
like, what is this?
So it's a Sofa Score. So it is a respected site. And one thing about Knighton, he did really well because if you look at the XG on targets, so if you talk XG, obviously you guys had more shots to ours. But then you look shots on targets, Charlotte had 6, you guys had 6. So the shots Charlotte did take, though, they were in good places. They were in the corners, in the goals. So our expected goal on target was actually 1.25. So the fact that he kept a clean sheet, I think, and I can't say enough about your goalie. I think he did the job for you guys.
Yeah, he did, but he didn't keep a clean sheet.
Oh, yeah. Well, you let in that once. Sorry,
it was a deflection off a fantastic curler. Like, me and my fellow drummers we just looked at each other like, well, that you gotta give credit where it's due. Good goal's a good goal, even if it is a deflection. Even if it wasn't a deflection, it'd probably be a good one. But even still, Rad saw it. I mean, almost got to it too.
And the funny thing is, and Joey can speak to this, is Ortiz has been given chances, and so a lot of people, he came off the bench in this one, but he provided the spark, obviously, with his strike, and that's one of our few goals from actually open play in a while, So, I mean, it was a great strike, I can't really fault the goalie for missing that one, but overall, I thought he did really well, especially since Matt Turner's obviously out injured. See if he comes back.
He fully plans to come back. He has made that statement. But actually, can we scroll down a bit to the subs, please? Because there was something that was actually pretty interesting here. Second half subs. Here we go. So, for some reason it doesn't show Leggett being subbed out, but he was subbed out.
Yeah,
he was tried to be subbed out, and oh boy almighty. Bruce was not happy because someone must have given the wrong card and that delayed play and whatnot. And it just like Bruce was not happy. If you watch the replay, you watch it around the 74th minute when they're making that sub. It is Bruce lays in to whoever put that card up. But that's an interesting possession stat right there. Possession. You guys had the more possession of the ball, but you really didn't do much with it. Yeah, you had 6 shots on net, but
we lack creativity at times, and there were some where the guy was running wide open, Rios, and all it needed was a through ball, and instead of putting a through ball, the guy skies it, over the goal. So,
do you want the net? How high do you want the net?
So, I mean, Charlotte had chances. They just didn't find them, and they kind of squandered their possession.
Yeah, it's been an ongoing trend where we'll look good going forward, And then right when it gets to the moment where we need to pass it off to the final attacker, we just
The
I don't
wheels
know.
on the attack go flat, flat, flat,
Yeah,
flat,
exactly.
flat, 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 flat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, I'm a New England Revolution fan. We've been singing that for 27 years.
And unfortunately, unlike you guys, we don't know how to cross the ball in like that. So
To be fair, we really only learned how to cross in the past couple of years.
okay.
Seriously, we used to just when we used to cross the ball, it was like you were playing on FIFA, where you just had a circle or X to cross, or no, you hit X to cross it into the box, and then you just hammer B until you get it right. That's pretty much how it was for the Revs before Bruce, because we on our cross balls we were terrible. Under Bruce, under Jay Heaps, under Craptastic McGee, Brad Friedel, we actually had a chant. Short corners, long throws, because without fail, we would always take the short corner and try to cross it in, or just try to build it up and not really get anywhere with it. Or when we had to throw in, we would just go yeet.
Nice.
Now that's kind of changed with Bruce. The ball comes flying in now at dangerous pace. In fact, there's a few times where on the corner kicks where your keeper made some pretty dumb decisions. There's one in the second half where he decided to pretty much go into a scrum of players and try to buy that out. And instead of making himself like the first one in line, like instead of like coming to the outside of the scrum where the ball was going to be, he just decided to go right in the middle and leave a Revs player pretty much wide open. If he got up to it first, that would have been the goal. Easy peasy.
Yeah, so I wonder how much of that is on knowing that our defensive line just can't clear the ball out, so he feels like he has to try to do everything himself. I don't know.
Which is kryptonite to a defense. I mean, we saw it. As much as I hate Brad Guzan, we saw it with him in Aston Villa. His back four when he was on Aston Villa when they got relegated were wet paper towel could be a better back four than they could. He did not have any faith in them whatsoever. And it showed. And when you don't have faith in your back line, it shows when you're a keeper.
Which, yeah, as much as his Guzman gets, we wish him well in his injury.
Don't get me wrong. I wish him well, and I wish him a very, very happy retirement.
Yeah, a ruptured Achilles is going to be tough to come back from.
I knew he got injured. I didn't know he got.
Yeah,
it's bad.
That bad.
It's really bad.
He's what, 35?
37, I think.
Yeah, he's done. He's done. You don't come back. You might come back for like the tipping of the hat game. Like a player goes down, like in baseball where they like a pitcher tears his Tommy
like
John,
a testimonial
like
game.
Yeah, like the Tommy John surgery, and then he comes back for like one pinch in the ninth inning, and then he does like the speech at the stadium. Yeah, you might get that from Guzman, but no, you're not. Ruptured ACL at 37 as a keeper, you're done, son. On
Achilles,
turf,
even worse.
Turf. Oh yeah, Achilles on turf.
Yeah,
your home team's on turf. You're done, son. The turf monster got him.
Yeah, it's just horrible. If anyone wants to watch our last week when we spoke with Greg about Atlanta's goalkeeping situation, couldn't have foreshadowed their issues anymore than losing Guzan.
And he set it up perfectly where Atlanta saved Guzan from the draft rather than someone more important. And I don't know, they made all kinds of mistakes. It sounds like
Guzan's that. So for Atlanta, Guzan's down.
Martinez is down.
Isn't Joseph down as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they got nothing.
Really, they don't.
And forever may it rain.
Nice. That's right. Now I guess back to our match a little bit.
Yeah.
Now that you guys have played Charlotte for this season, like what's your overall opinion of the club? Like, how do you see us going in the future?
I'll be fair. I can't answer that. It's been a month. You've had what, 5 games under your belt? Granted, you're not as stupid as NYC fans, where you're not as like. No. I mean, there's an example of NYC fans for one of the first Hudson River derbies, where it is some of the most cringeworthy, stupid, like, what are you thinking, guys? Moment where they're near a path train in Harrison. I dub it the sandwich board fight, where some moron, where like the two fan bases come together, and some moron saw the sandwich board and like they started chanting, "Who are you?" Like,
really, guys? Really?
I mean, I remember NYC's first season. They got sanctioned by the league. Their fans got sanctioned for 5 games. And I'll never forget this because it was kind of a screw you. But so part of their sanctions were they weren't allowed to put up banners or anything. And so Gillette Stadium let them put up the banners. And then someone of MLS went to talk to them and be like, yeah, they're not allowed to do that. So they spent 20 minutes putting up their banners, putting up all their junk. And then team ops were like, yeah, that's coming down. And so you're not as stupid and like Green Street wannabe as Atlanta, as New York City. You're not as as cookie cutter as Atlanta. I mean, your name is Chart FC, so yeah, you're that's a pretty stupid name. And no, I'm not calling you the Crown. You don't get that name just because you call yourself the Queen City. The Timbers aren't called the Rose. They're the Timbers. Come up with a real name, or don't come up with a team. I'm looking at you, Nashville. You had 10 SC right there, and you went with Nashville. You had 10 SC right there, and you went with Nashville. How dare you, sir? How dare you? But seriously though, and you weren't just Chivas 2.0 like LAFC. You're trying to do your own thing, and I respect that. And as far as your groups go, I have some experience with Mid-City Collective due to Supporters Rocket League, which is a league of supporters groups from across North America, including Canada and Mexico, that get together and play Rocket League together. And so shout out to John Pata, who is a great guy. See you, Pata Bread. And the Mid-City Collective guys who I have come to know, and they are pretty good. And also, good on you guys for that. Hey, welcome to Charlotte. Here's what we can do for you. As a member of the board, as a member of the large board for the Riders, I really like that. Just be like, hey, for first time here, welcome. Like that stereotypical Southern hospitality stuff. Like, we have this, we got that, we got this, we got that. But yeah, you might have a stupid name, but I still do respect that. I'm sorry, no, I think all FCs are stupid.
Well, our name could have, in fairness, been a lot worse. The ones they narrowed it down to through the fan contest didn't really leave, in my opinion,
what
a lot.
What were they?
I can't even remember.
I can't remember all of them, but I think one was also Charlottetown FC.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And it was TOWNE. I think it's spelled like that.
We're
They
not
were-
British.
in Massachusetts. This is being recorded on Monday the 14th, Monday the 18th in Massachusetts. Today is Patriots Day. Today's a day that we remember the Battle of Lexington and Concord. You know, the battle that started the American Revolution. The kind of the stuff that we don't have to call ourselves Charlottetown and Charlotte FC. We kind of fought a war against this. But seriously, come up with better names. You will Atlanta. You will always be the Ashes. Nashville. You're always 10 SC. Fire. You're always crap.
Nice.
So actually, Charlottetown didn't make it to the Final Five, but it was in the Final Five were Carolina Gliders FC, Charlotte Athletic FC.
No, stop there. Gliders. I don't know what it is, but it's a name. It is a name.
It honors the Wright brothers. First flight from
beautiful.
Mm.
It is a name. I honestly, I don't know if I'm in a majority, minority, or whatever. It's me, but all these stupid rebrands, FC, SC, like, yeah, you want to call yourself Chicago Fire FC? All power to you. You want to call yourself the Charlotte Gliders FC, SC? Sure, you're the Gliders. Way to go. You are honoring your heritage. We're the New England Revolution. We are honoring our heritage. If you want to be called the New Jersey Red Bulls, you're honoring some stupid corporation. I'm a Reds fan. I can't get out of here without taking a dig at New Jersey.
Yeah, but out of the five that they had to choose from, I'm not that upset that they just went with a traditional one. I mean,
I am. This is America. Seriously though, we are known for our unique names.
But they did a good job.
No, they didn't.
No, they did a good job with the branding after the.
Okay,
after
yeah,
the name.
all right. No, I will. I mean, a blue crown. How hard is that? I mean, to be fair, looking at the Chicago Fire rebrand and the crew rebrand, yeah, you're not wrong. But seriously, like,
I mean, the Mint City and our jerseys, the black and the mint.
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty sweet.
Like
so the marketing after the fact, regardless if you don't like the name, they did a good. The marketing department did a good job.
They did. They really tapped into the local heritage, and I will give you that. But guys, I don't know who watches this. Stop with the generic nonsense. You are not Inter Miami FC. You are Beckham FC. You are not Orlando City. You are Mickey Mouse. You're not Fresno. You're the Burn. You're not FC Dallas. You're the Burn. Like, you're not LAFC. You're Chivas 2.0. Like, I will never, ever call them by their we're this FC. No. You are not regarded as this. The only SC I would allow was 10 SC, and that's because it's a beautiful bun. It is a beautiful bun, and they rejected it.
Yeah.
It was right there. 10 SC from Tennessee. Like, why not?
Now, from the broadcast of our match, from the beginning, it was pretty obvious that there weren't that many fans there. Actually,
sorry to interrupt. I will stop you right there, though. 2020, I'm not going to count 2020 as far as ticket sales go. I mean, because COVID and all that. Like, our 2021, we had at the start of the season, we had restricted seating. We were very so we only X amount were allowed into a match. We can only sit so far, so where. So even though those technically do go into the official records, I do not count them. But there is a thing that I saw that the Revs are actually up 14. I believe it's 14.8%. Or no, don't think it was that high, but they were up X amount of percent from previous years, from 2019. We were up, so there wasn't that many people there. It was maybe 15,000 in a cold, rainy night in a town with no public transportation system. Actually, no, that's a lie. They do have a public transportation system. It's only run during Patriots games. And so it was low. Then the rain started, and most of the plebs just went out and got undercover. And I was like, "It's only water, ba ba da 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 da. It's only water." Like you can actually hear that at the end of the first match, where you just hear ba 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 da da da. At the end of the first half, around the 40th minute, you can actually hear that. Now, the rain honestly held off for the most part. It held off. It was raining a bit, but it was more misting than rain. Like it wasn't a hard driving rain, but it was like that small rain. Like it wasn't those big drops. It was like those BB shot drops that were coming down, but it really wasn't coming down that hard. I wouldn't say. Enough to get you wet, of course, but no. It wasn't until after the game that the rain really came down. Like I was told you guys before we started. It wasn't until like the final whistle when we were walking out when the heavens just opened up. You asked me this question about how do I think you guys are doing? How do you think you guys are doing? Honestly, you're like 5 matches in. Granted, you're having struggles, but you are a first-year team. It is very rare for a first-year team to come out swinging. In the 27-year history of MLS, I believe there's only been 2 teams. Excuse me. There's only been 2 teams to win the cup in their inaugural season: the Fire and Sherman and Sherman's Ashes.
Nice. Yeah. So I'll say that I think we're doing really well to start off. I really like how our manager Miguel is positioned the squad. You know, we don't have too many flashy players, but I like what he's trying to do. There are definitely like refinements that can happen, but I see that he obviously has instilled some sort of style into the team. I'm very appreciative of that. We've won 3 of our 4 matches at home, which has been great. And then obviously,
you're welcome.
Yeah, right. Yeah, thanks. And then on the road, there's still a lot to be desired. We're 0-5 now on the road.
Well, the thing about MLS is that unlike other leagues, especially in Europe, everyone likes to be like, "Oh, look at Europe." One of my favorite things to laugh at is like those European fan pages, like, "Good on these 150 guys who went from London to Slough to watch their team play, or just went like from London to Leeds or whatever." Just you hopped on a train, you spent a few hours, and you went like 200 miles. Congratulations. There are people who drive 200 miles for a home game, and they don't miss a game.
Yep.
And so MLS is a very hard league on the road, not just because of travel, but because of how much travel there is. Like not just because of distance, but how much there is. Like in England, you might rack up maybe 10,000 miles in the air, depending on the schedule. In America, you'll be lucky to rack up only 10,000 miles in the air, depending on the schedule. Especially if you're like a more easterly Western Coast team, like Salt Lake or
Miami. Oh man,
well, I mean, they're not really West Coast, but no, like
they're gonna rack up the miles.
Yeah, Miami, Orlando, Texas, the Revs, Chicago, like so teams that are not in like driving distance per se, and I judge driving distance as within like 2 hours for a bus, like team driving distance. Teams that are not within driving distance of another team: Orlando, Miami, Austin, Dallas. Now, I might be wrong about this. I do not know their traffic patterns, but I'm just going off the top of my head. Austin, Dallas, Houston, Revs, Chicago. Yeah, and probably San Jose. I don't know how. Again, I don't know local traffic patterns or the exact distance, but the Revs, at the very least, they have to fly everywhere. Everywhere. It is a 4-hour bus ride down to Red Bull and down to New York. It is an 8-hour drive to DC. It is a full day, and it's a full day and a half drive to Florida. It's a 6-hour bus ride to Philly. So it is like the MLS is an extremely travel hard team league. I mean,
yep.
So being pointless on the road it sucks. I'm a Russ fan. I know that pain. Jay Heaps hardly ever won a game on the road. Dumbo McGee went out of his way to lose every game on the road. And then Bruce is the first one that we really, really had to have consistent road performance. So saying that you guys need to get points on the road, I mean, yeah, it's MLS.
Yeah, and they'll come. It's super early in the season still, and we have no history yet, so it'll definitely come. Andrew, real quick, how do you think Charlotte's been so far?
They played like an expansion team. I mean, I agree everything that you say. To me, where they need to work on is their defense, and back line, they're still sorting it out. They need to create more chances. The chances they do create are good. They just don't get enough of them per game. We rely a lot on free kicks, to score goals. We don't get many open play goals, so it was great to see Ortiz. But these are everything to be expected, from a new team. And I think the next step for this team is to get at least a point on the road. Maybe not to win, but just to get a point, just to, because a point is good. I know our fan base wants 3 points all the time, but
of course,
a point will do you on the road. Especially at home, Charlotte, you can't ask any better for their home performances. The crowd shows up, everyone's pumped. The team obviously plays better at home. So they're young. They just need to carry it. They haven't been together very long. They got started late. So,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but there's another team I forgot about, like not within 2 hours. Vancouver.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
Vancouver, Montreal, and Quebec. Like those are all drivable things, but within a bus ride for the team, teams are going to take a flight for those.
So But yeah, in terms of expansion, I think we're doing, in my opinion, we're doing better than I expected. I did not expect to have this many points, early this season. I expected the growing pains would be in the beginning, and then you'll start seeing a slow, but continuous ascent, rise up. So the fact that we have as many points as we do right now is awesome. So my final question for you, Andrew, before we go to what's up next, is I just want to touch on the Matt Turner, because I'm sure you're aware of Zach Steffen's struggles over in
the oopsie doopsie.
Yeah. So do you think, I mean, you've probably, I'm sure you've seen Matt Turner way more than the rest of us. Do you think he's making a good career decision by going to Arsenal, knowing that he isn't going to be the number one?
I have two answers to that. There's the Homer me, and then there's the wants the best for Turner me. Homer me says no, because I want him. He's mine. He's mine. He's my Matt Turner. You can't have him. He is my keeper. You can't have him. We discovered him. Funny story about this actually. So, 2018, I'm on a road trip. We're opening in Philly, and we go on a road trip. Me and my sister and a couple of our friends. I'm in the backseat with my friend Matt, who's going to kill me for forgetting what school DeJuan Jones went to. We're in back, and I have my laptop and I have FIFA on it, and we each brought controllers because it's a 6-hour drive. We do something to pass the time. Anyway, so this kid starts Turner. This is when Matt Turner was still a third string keeper. And when we got to the game and we found out that Turner was indeed starting, we're like, you son of a gun. So when you develop a talent like that, you want to hold on to it greedily, because he's yours. You saw him grow up pretty much. You know how beneficial he is to the team. Yet but as for the best for Turner, he's done everything the hard way. He didn't. I mean, soccer, when he was in high school, soccer was his second sport. He was a baseball guy. Then he was like, oh, yeah, I'm pretty good at soccer. I'll do it this. And then he got signed then he walked onto the Revs as an undrafted. And he worked his way up from there. And then, when no one heard about Matt Turner on the U.S. stage until the 2021 season, where he made to the 2020 season where he made Nani cry. I'm sorry. I'm just remembering Nani on the ground after the semifinal game in Orlando, where Matt Turner stopped him twice where Matt Turner just owned him. And then he comes here and he still gets owned by Turner. Oh, Nani, you sucked. No, but seriously, you see him grow up as a fantastic shot stopper, near Houdini when it comes to the spot. There was a point where he was like an average goalie stops around, I think it was around 25% of penalties. That's a good number. That's a good watermark, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He was stopping 60.
Yep.
Across all of it, national and league. He was more than doubling the average. He's a fantastic goalie, pen stopper.
All right, so for the other perspective,
him doing everything the hard way is what he does best. So he might not go there. He might not go to Arsenal as the first, but you are darn sure that he will get the first, because he is Matt friggin' Turner, and he does not take seconds, unless it's his own personal teams because he supports New York. Actually, so real quick, funny story about Matt Turner, and I honestly kind of feel bad for the guy just a little bit because Matt Turner's from New Jersey. He grew up in New Jersey. He's a Yankees fan. He's a Rangers fan. He's a Giants fan. You know what he did? He was the captain of honor at the Patriots. He walked out onto the field wearing a Patriots jersey. He threw out the first pitch at Fenway in a Red Sox jersey. He dropped the puck at the Garden in a Bruins jersey. 11-year-old Matt Turner hates 22-year-old Matt Turner.
Nice.
And I actually got to laugh at Matt Turner because when the Sox were in a slump, when he threw out the first pitch, the Sox were in a pretty bad slump, and I'm in the fort, which is right where the Reds warm up. And so I just shouted out to him, "Hey Matt, how did it feel to throw a better pitch than most of the Red Sox bullpen?" And you're just doing his warm up, and he just had a big old
Nice, yeah.
He had a big old grin.
That's great.
But honestly, he is going there knowing that he's not going to be the first. But it's Matt friggin' Turner, and I can almost guarantee you, he will get the first because he is Rudy, but good. He actually does something. Because remember the thing about how he was in the Gold Cup. Think about how he was against Mexico. He destroyed Mexico.
Yeah, well, both of us are in full agreement that we do not believe Stefan deserves the number one spot for the United States.
A mistake. His name is in contention, and the oopsie notwithstanding. Mistakes happen. We all love this game. We all want our teams to be perfect. We want all of our teams to be like 5 stars on everything. We want full 10s across the board. But this isn't a video game, guys. They are human. Mistakes happen. Look at the New England versus Red Bull, where we put in that own goal. That's an oopsie. That's a mistake. Mistakes happen. Unlucky things happen. Yes, Stefan fell asleep at the switch right there, but he's not going to do that again. I can guarantee you he's probably not going to do that again just because it's going to be in his head. Don't do that.
Yeah, but I think moving to Man City was a bad move for him because he was never going to – I don't think he was ever going to be the number one. So, unfortunately, he
put his stock out there. He's like – he is building his resume.
He bet on himself.
Soccer is a job just like anything else. You got to pad the resume. Say you want to go, say like your end goal is to play in Ligue 1. Having some starts under Man City, having some starts on your resume for Man City is a whole lot better than having starts for the Columbus Crew.
Yeah, so the caveat with that is that if you start and then constantly make little mistakes like this, like obviously this one was pretty major, but he does seemingly have like little gaffes every now and then where his reaction time isn't fast enough.
Every player does.
Right, but if you're showing that almost, every match where you do get a chance, it's kind of a downfall of even, putting yourself in that position.
Well, you have to also wonder what is going on at Man City as far as the keeper training goes. Like, because if this is happening, what are the coaches doing? Why aren't the coaches trying to recorrect this? Why are they letting this slide? Like, yes, you can blame Stefan as much as you want for those oopsies, but you also have to think that this is a job. They have managers. They have higher ups that they have to answer to. Where is the leadership coming from?
There's definitely something to be said about that. Like, why aren't they keeping him prepared for the chances that he does get?
Where is the first? Where's the senior keeper, imparting wisdom to the younger guy? This is a generational game.
Yep.
When we pass on knowledge, we pass knowledge on down to the next generation. Like, oh, you're doing a cross like this. No, here's a better way to do a cross.
But yeah, I mean, I guess my point was going to be for Stefan. I feel like him not playing week in and week out for 2+ years now has kind of hurt his trajectory. You know, it would have been, in my opinion, better for him to be a number one. Maybe not at Premier League. You know, maybe in the Championship, or if he wants to play Europe. I mean, he was doing fine at Dusseldorf. Just playing week in, week out, being the number one, getting that, you can't replicate games. Yeah. And so my only concern for Turner is hopefully that won't happen to him. Obviously
he's a man who is not afraid to say what he said, to say what's on his mind for the most part. There's this fantastic Twitter that's called Matt Turner's Rebellion. It's hilarious. If you guys have like before national games, he's like, I penned this with my quill as we go to the north and face off, and I lead the battalion against the honorable men from El Salvador. Like it's like revolutionary. It's whoever writes it's a genius. But there's with Matt Turner, there's a lot of speculation over his injury. People were blaming U.S. Soccer because they thought it was frostbite. In fact, media even came out to confirm, yes, it is indeed frostbite that he got playing at
up in Minnesota.
Game in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And yes, U.S. Soccer, you are dumb for playing in Minnesota in the winter. Like, what is wrong with you? Seriously, like, I'm not even making a joke here.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? That is
dangerous.
To have the game played in that temperature is dangerous not only for the players but for the fans. It was not a smart play. I don't care if you're trying to give yourself home field advantage. Congratulations. But there's a reason why we don't play in freaking Nome, Alaska. Because it's just too dangerous. And they probably don't have a proper field. But like that game should have been played in the southern states. Yeah, you would have lost your home field advantage. Maybe in Portland, maybe in Seattle. Like where it wasn't 2 freaking degrees.
Yeah.
Or you delay the game because it's 2 degrees. I mean, the fact that the Honduras keeper had it was Honduras, right? That we played up there. Was it Honduras or was it El Salvador? It doesn't matter. The fact that the opposing keeper had to come out due to frostbite is unacceptable. It is wholly unacceptable and irresponsible from U.S. Soccer.
Yep.
Nope. Yeah, you won't get any disagreement from us.
Yep. I don't think anyone will be is in disagreement. It was irresponsible. But he came out. But Matt Turner made a public statement on Twitter saying that yes, he did pick up a bit of frostbite in Minnesota against Screw You U.S. Soccer. But that was on his left foot and it healed quick. I believe it was his left foot. I might be wrong, but it was on his left foot and it healed quickly. Then he was in training camp in LA with the Revs, where one of the Chivas players decided, you know what, I'm gonna make a stupid tackle preseason, and that gave him a fracture, and that gave him a hairline fracture on his right foot. And so, yes, he had injury on his left foot, but that injury on his left foot had nothing to do with the injury on his right foot. And that is what has been kind of put him down for the count. Because there's also speculation that Matt Turner was like gaming it. You know how like players do? Oh, I have this big transfer coming up. And
Right.
so I'm
Yeah.
going to be. I'm sick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, but that is not Matt Turner. He is not that type of fellow. He would be like, he'd be like, yo, if I'm good enough to play, I'm good enough to play.
Yep. All right. So let's go into what's up next for the clubs. This Wednesday, Charlotte is actually playing at the Greenville Triumph for their U.S. Open Cup match.
Speaking about away day troubles.
Yeah. So the good thing here
Oh,
is
this
that
is your first Open Cup game. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Oh, they are so much fun. Honestly, I'm not. It is honestly some of the funnest games I've ever been to. Two of my favorite ones were the Boston City game that I told you about earlier, and then 2016 Open Cup game against Philly. We went into extra time. We went into penalties, and we were singing for all 100, and we were singing for like nearly 3 hours. For the last like 40 minutes, we were singing "Oh New England," and somehow at the end of the game, we got louder. And I will never forget, like just standing there, like rain, like platoon, arms open, and just having to wait. The sound rush over me, and I was just, to this day, it is my ringtone.
Nice. That's awesome.
I'm dead serious when I say Open Cup games are the funnest.
Yeah. So this should be a great opportunity to get a victory while also giving minutes to some of the younger or rotation players. I know Greenville Triumph will definitely be pushing to get a result out of this, but it's professionals. Charlotte should be able to handle it. Should be able to. Yeah.
This is Open Cup. This is Open Cup where nothing
anything can
matters.
happen. Yeah.
And I love the Open Cup.
Then next weekend we are at Colorado, which will be fun for the travel. Colorado's 10th in the West with 8 points. They're not great, but they can definitely pull out a win. So I think we'll be able to get a point here.
Colorado's good people.
Yeah, I thought we would get a result against you guys, but we'll see what happens. And then the Revolution are at DC United next week.
On Saturday.
If the form continues, I think you guys in Buxa should have a field day.
Especially with Ola Kamara being suspended.
Out. Yep.
And we were talking, and before we end this, there's something that is trademarked Revs this season, and that is at the 80th minute, we're open for business as far as goals go.
Yep.
Because at the 80th minute, that is when most of the goals get scored on us. 80th plus.
Yeah, during our live stream,
we are the worst team. 80th plus.
Yeah, during our live watch along, I brought that up. I was like, now that we're getting late into the match, maybe we'll be able to bag a couple back to get a tie, and we got the one.
Did.
Yeah,
you did. It was what, the 80th minute on the dot?
85th, yeah. So
looking at the little thing, but DC United kind of gave us a run for our money on Saturday when they were up 2-0 and the first half. And yes, Ola Kamara went out at the 45th plus 7.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see why on earth it was 45 plus 7. Anyway,
wasn't it within like the last 10 minutes?
It was exactly 10 minutes. Every 5 minutes they gave up a goal, like clockwork. Because I was on the way home and I was going through my phone looking at the rest of the game. I was like, what happened?
Yeah. So on top
of
the
80th minute, they give a goal at the 80th minute, the 85th minute, the 90th minute.
Yep. So on top of like the issues that they're going to have missing Kamara, and then coming off of that match, they've also created the second fewest chances in the league so far. So if you guys can carry that momentum from us into them, I don't think you'll have any issues.
Well, I'm honestly with Heel, with Buxa. Hopefully, Bo's back soon because he is a. You didn't have to feel his wrath this year. There's a reason why we call him La Pantera. He is a nightmare. He is quick. He is silent. If you want to see a great goal, the 2020 the 2020 playoff game against Montreal. It was the 94th minute. We were tied 2-2. It looked like we were going to extra time, and then Gustavo Bo on a free kick just. So, I mean, but with Renix is a young player who is hungry. He is hungry for that rep. He made a name for himself on Revs 2. But he is hungry to get that, to make himself an established name. Yes, he bagged a goal against Miami. It's kind of hard not to. But he is hungry. So you have that hungry player, and then you have that player who is, then you have the established player with Buxa, and then the crosses from Bai, Jones, Heel, and then you have Sebi running interference. You got T-Mac being the bruiser. You have a solid attack there. But what's really worrying for me is our defense. For some reason, the defense just doesn't work, and I'm looking at you, Omar Gonzalez. I'm sorry, you are not. No.
Yeah, so do you want to make a quick prediction for that match real quick?
No.
No?
I've learned.
Okay. Nice.
This is MLS, where the points are made up and the rules don't matter.
Yep.
Seriously,
Mark,
the rules don't matter.
I'm looking at you, Mark Geiger, you piece of crap.
Nice.
Oh, that's
All right.
another thing you didn't have to experience is Mark Geiger. Out of nowhere. Penalty. Excuse me, sir?
Yep. All right. And then, Andrew, any last thoughts tonight?
No. I think, to me, watching the game looked to me like a 1-1 game. But, again, they deserved. I mean, when you can't clear the ball from your back line, I mean, you're just asking, inviting trouble, and trouble got them. And, to New England's credit, they capitalized. I mean, the first goal was amazing, regardless of the defensive, being out of position. They did everything. They worked it around. And, to me, more impressive than the header was the cross that was delivered, because everything was just on point. It was amazing that first half. Like, I just pulled up, they had 45% accurate crosses, and I would guess that the majority of them came in the first half because they were always finding ahead. So, the statistics may say 1-1. My eyes say may 1-1, but I think 2-1. I don't think Charlotte really can complain too much. I do think it's their best away game that they've played so far. But hopefully we'll try again here against Colorado. I mean,
Colorado's gonna be a tough opponent.
Yep.
Especially for you guys. Charlotte is more like sea level, right? Or is it below sea level?
We're above sea level, but I get what you're saying.
Much, yeah.
The fitness levels are going to have to be top notch.
You're going to Colorado. That's my high state for a reason. and you go up there, you're going to have you need to make sure that your physio is on point. And honestly, that is something I'm really worried about. You guys were going down like flies. I don't know if you were trying to game it or I don't know what was going on, but every tap you guys went down. And
yeah, well, I mean, even outside of that, like, there's no way Fuchs is going to be able to pull off a full 90 out there. Just no way.
yeah, I mean, it's just like going to Colorado, especially for the first time, especially after a 3-game week, it's going to be incredibly hard for you guys. That is
Definitely.
always a challenge. All right, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure joining you guys once again. My name is Andrew Skaman. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Skaman1978. That is SKAMAN 1978. And you can find me on Twitter at Skaman_1978. I'll be at PAX this weekend. If you PAX East this weekend. If you see me, come say hi. I don't bite hard. If you're wearing Charlotte colors, I will laugh at you, but then I also welcome you. If you're wearing Red Bull colors, I'll just laugh at you. True story. True story. I was in line of PAX at a video game convention. I had a red scarf on. There was a guy with a New Jersey Red Bulls hat. I'm like, have you no shame? That was a great guy, though.
Nice. Good.
Yeah.
All right.
It's been a pleasure, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. So just make sure to check out Skaman stuff. His links are in the description below. And then we'll also be hosting a live watch along for the match this Saturday at Colorado. Make sure to tune in for that. And then for all of you out there, let us know what you thought of the match against the New England Revolution. Comment below. And then, as always, be sure to like the video and subscribe. And then for myself, Andrew Skaman, have a good one and see you later.